Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time I am doing a beautiful set of ombre nails with encapsulated flowers. So I've already prepped the nail and applied the tips. Now I'm just going to go in with a primer. For that I'm using my OPI primer. I'm going to be using different acrylics. So first I'm using this pink acrylic by Mia Secret. I'm going to be using my cover pink by Mia Secret, a pink which is going to be glow in the dark, and then I'm going to be using my monomer, which is also by Mia Secret, and then I'm using my alpha brush in a number 9, and it is an oval. Remember, I do have a promo code for alpha brush, so be sure to check it out. So as you guys know, when I'm doing acrylics, I always try to stick to the 4-ball method. The first one being right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets, one right below that one, another one right above it, and then I do one over the whole nail. So you want to make sure that when you're doing acrylics, you check to make sure that your tip is thick enough, and then you also want to make sure that you have a good apex. You don't want to just have a really flat nail, because if not, your nail will break off easily. Once again, you want to have a nice and strong apex, and also you want to make sure that you're not applying that acrylic too close to the skin. So for the encapsulated nail, we're going to go ahead and do a thin layer of acrylic, and this is my Mia Secret pink once again, which is almost a clear, or you could just go ahead and use a clear, but I like to use this one. We do a thin layer, and then I'm going to go in with a little bit of glitter as well. After this, we're going to just apply the flowers, and they are real dried flowers. This will be on my website pretty soon as well. As you guys know, my website has still been down for restocking, but I promise that it will be up very soon. So I just pick up the flowers and just pat them down. Make sure that the acrylic is still a little bit wet when you apply the flowers, and then after that we're just going to go in with a thicker ball or a bigger ball of acrylic, and we're going to make sure we encapsulate them really good, because you don't want to fall them off when you start filing the acrylic. Once again, make sure that the acrylic is covering all of the flowers. You don't want none of that flower out, because if not, you will file it off once you file your acrylic at the end. So once again, I did a thin layer of acrylic, and then I went back with a little bit of glitter. I placed the flowers on the nail, pat them down with my finger, and then I'm just going back to add acrylic to encapsulate the flower. Remember, make sure you don't want no acrylic on the skin, because it will be really hard to take off, and most likely you will get lifting. And then at the end, just kind of look at your nail from different angles. If you need to add more acrylic, that's fine. You don't necessarily have to stick with the 4-ball method. Once again, just look at your nails from different angles, and you will see where you need to add more acrylic. So we're going to do the same thing for this middle finger. We're doing a thin layer of acrylic. So I went ahead and placed my first bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets. Brushed it down towards the tip. I'm going to do just another one right closer to the cuticle area, brushing it down towards the tip. Remember to always clean around that cuticle area as soon as that acrylic touches the skin. Now I dip my brush into the liquid and into the powder. So I got a small bead of acrylic, and then I dip my brush into the glitter, and I'm just applying that on the nail. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit. I just didn't want the nail to be completely clear under the flowers. And I'm going to be using a different type of flower. I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm just going to place it on the nail. Be sure to pat it down with your finger, because if not, it won't stay down as good. And you do want to make sure you place it on the nail while the acrylic is still a little bit tacky. That way the flower sticks to the nail. Then after that, we're just going to go in with our acrylic and encapsulate that flower. Once again, make sure that you are applying that acrylic thick enough to where it's going to cover up the entire flower, because if not, I promise that you will file it off if the acrylic is not thick enough. Alrighty, so for the ombre nails, I'm going to be using the glow in the dark pink on the tip, and then I'm going to be using a cover pink as well. So to make this glow in the dark powder, I literally just grabbed some regular Mia Secret acrylic, and then I just added some glow in the dark pink powder, and that's pretty much it. I don't remember how much of it I put in there. I kind of just guesstimated and mixed it up, and that was it. But once again, I'm just going to put that on the tip, brushing it down to the edge of the tip or to the free edge. And then I'm also going to be using my cover pink by Mia Secret, which will be the pink that's going to be closer to the cuticle area. It's more of a nude color. When you're doing this one, you don't want to apply too much. You just want to apply enough to where it's going to blend right in the middle. And remember, when you're working, you want to make sure you wipe your brush off a lot. The cover pinks are really sticky and hard to work with, so you do want to make sure that you keep your brush really clean, because if not, I promise that it is going to be a hot mess, and this always happens to me. So make sure that you keep your brush really clean. And then I'm also going to go in with my pink Mia Secret acrylic, not the cover pink, but the pink acrylic, just to basically encapsulate the two colors together. I don't want to do too much of that cover pink, because if not, I just don't want to go in all the way down to the tip. Once again, I'm going to go in with my Mia Secret pink, which is almost a clear, as you guys know, and we're just going to encapsulate those two colors together. So once again, we're going to do the pink at the tip. We place it right in the middle and then brush it down towards the tip. And you want to make sure that if you need a little bit more, I know this pink, it's a little bit not too translucent, but it's just a tad bit translucent, so I kept having to go back and add a bead, an extra bead, like right at the tip. So that's fine if you have to do that. Once again, the way I made this glow in the dark powder was just simply mixing some glow in the dark powder that I got from eBay, and I mixed it in with my actual pink acrylic by Mia Secret. And then I'm gonna go back and add that cover pink, and as you can see, you do have to have some sort of cover color to be able to blend the two colors in the middle, because if not, you will be able to see just where the two colors are, and it's not gonna be a pretty ombre. Once again, this is Mia Secret cover pink, and my brush is by Alpha Brush. Remember, I do have a promo code, so be sure to check that out in the description. And then remember, just go back after you do those two colors, just go back with a clear, or you can use your Mia Secret pink acrylic to just encapsulate the two colors together. Be sure to look at your nail from different angles to make sure that you have a nice apex and that you don't just have a really flat nail. Alrighty, so we're going to do the same thing on the other hand, except for on this hand we will only have one nail with the encapsulated flowers. That would be the ring finger, and once again this pinky will be bling, so I'm just doing that clear with my Mia Secret pink. Alrighty, and another thing that I do want to mention is that it's very important to always go back and clean around that cuticle area every time that you place a bead close to that cuticle area, because if not, that acrylic will dry up really fast and it's going to be nearly impossible to take off, and most likely you will have lifting. So as you can see, I just go in with the tip of my brush and just wipe that acrylic from around the cuticle. And also I always go back and clean like around the edges of the nail, that way the acrylic doesn't just take away my shape, so at the end I won't have to do that much working or filing when I'm shaping or reshaping the nail. Okay, so now we're going to go back and do the same thing with the encapsulated flowers. So we're just doing a thin layer of acrylic. I promise it does not have to be super, super thick. Just something for that glitter and the flowers to stick to. Remember to clean around that cuticle area really good. After that, we're going to dip our brush into the liquid and into the powder and then into the glitter. And we're just going to brush that all over the nail. We don't want a lot, we just want a little bit to where the nail is still going to be clear but it still has a shimmer to it. And then I'm just going to place the flowers on the nail. Remember to pat them down with your finger, that way it's not super hard to encapsulate them because a lot of the time they will lift up. So be sure to pat them down. And then after that, we're just going to go in with a big ball of acrylic to encapsulate those flowers. Remember, it's very important to make sure that the flowers are encapsulated in the nail really good, because if not, you will fall them off if your acrylic is not thick enough. Okay, so again, we're doing the ombre nails on the rest of the nails, which will be the middle finger, the index finger, and the thumb. Once again, that is the pink acrylic that glows in the dark. We're going to go in with the cover pink at the back, closer to the cuticle area. And then we're going to go in with our pink acrylic by Mia's Secret, which would just be to encapsulate both of the colors. You don't have to do that step, but I just don't want the nail to be too thin, so that's why I go back with the pink acrylic to just encapsulate those two colors together. Another thing is that I don't want to brush that cover pink all the way down to the tip because it's going to take away from that ombre look, so that's why I go back with the Mia's Secret pink, which is almost a clear. And then we're going to do that on, like I said, the rest of the nails, and that's going to be it for this set. Okay, so after we're done laying down our acrylic, we're going to go back and reshape the nails. As you guys know, we already have that coffin shape, but we just have to go back and redefine that shape because a lot of the time after applying the acrylic, it will take away from our shape. So I'm just using a 100-100 nail file, and I am just gently going back to reshape the nail. Alrighty, so now I'm going in with a fine drill bit to file our acrylic. You do want to make sure that you start around the cuticle area, so you always start on the right side and just work your way around to the left side, and you just go back and forth doing that same motion back and forth until you're able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way you know that the acrylic is not on the skin, which means that you're not going to get lifting. After you seal the the cuticle area really good, you just file the rest of the nail to make sure that there is no bumps or lumps. And as you can see, I always flip the finger back and forth, and that way I can see from different angles to see if there's a little bump or if I need to file the tip a little bit more or something like that. So always just look at your nail from different angles, and that's very important even when you're just filing the nail or when you're shaping the nail, when you're applying your acrylic, when you're filing the acrylic. It's really important to look at your nail from different angles because you'll see different things that you can't see when you just look at your nail from the top. Once again, we're just filing the nail, we're getting rid of any bumps or lumps, and we're filing to seal that acrylic around the cuticle area, because if not, you will get lifting. And if you're still getting lifting and you're doing everything else correctly, I promise you that most likely you're not doing this right, because water will get under the nail, which will cause the nail to lift, and then a lot of the time you can also get the little green spots on your nail. So this is a very important step. Once again, I am using a medium drill bit to do this. Alrighty, so now I'm just going to go in with a buffer and buff the nails. Remember, this is just to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nail from your filing. And you do want to make sure that you check every nail to make sure that it's nice and smooth. A lot of the time I like to rub my thumb over the top of the nail to make sure that I don't feel any bumps or lumps. After we buff them, I'm just going to dust them off, and then I'm going to go in with an alcohol wipe to just remove the dust from the nails. So I'm not going to be doing too much to these nails. I'm just going to be adding some bling to the pinky and then a top coat. So once again, I'm just going to wipe them off with an alcohol wipe, and that's just to get the dust off the nails. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go in with my Color Club polish in the color Just My Luck, which is a really pretty silver holographic polish. And I always do this under my bling. That way, if anything falls off, it's not going to be as noticeable because it matches the rhinestones. So once that polish is dry, we're going to go in and apply some bigger pieces. So for that, I'm going to be using my hard gel. I'm just applying that with a gel brush. And then with my wax pencil, I'm going to pick up those bigger pieces. And I'm just going to do 3 in the middle. And then I'm going to go back in with my SS6 and SS12 and just fill in the rest of the nail. You do have to cure that gel. So we're going to go ahead and cure that one for 60 seconds. And we're going to do the other pinky as well. Once again, it is hard gel, so it does have to be cured. Okay, and as always, I'm going to go in with my Mia Secret Gel Resin to apply the rest of the bling. I'm using my SS6, my SS12, and my wax pencil to apply the bling. And then I always start at the cuticle area and I work my way around the perimeter of the nail. And then I just fill in the rest of the nail as I go. Once again, this is my SS6 and SS12. And I will have these on my website whenever I restock. Once again, it is coming very, very soon. Just please bear with me. Okay, then after that, I sprayed the bling with the Mia Secret Gel Resin activated to make sure that the glue is dry. And then I'm just going to go in with my IBD gel top coat on the rest of the nails. So same thing on the other hand, I'm using my Mia Secret Gel Resin, my wax pencil, my SS6, my SS12, and we are just filling in around those big pieces of bling. We're going to spray our Mia Secret Gel Resin Activator, which is a spray that helps that glue dry, and then we're just going to apply our IBD Gel Top Coat on the rest of the nails. Alrighty, y'all, so this is the final look. They turned out beautiful. They were so shiny. They were just the perfect combination. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at GetNailed32, and I'll see you guys next time.